Thanks to the popular franchise starring Johnny Depp in the lead role, pirates have become romanticized and even friendly figures in modern times. Ironically, in reality, they were no less colorful, if not more so. Today, we will spend a day in the shoes of an ordinary pirate during the Golden Age of Piracy. How did the most powerful empires utilize pirates? Why was being a pirate considered more prestigious than any civilian profession? And in the next few minutes, we will explore the only pirate state in history with our special guest, Marcus Barbarossa Rashford. Like modern comedians, pirates often added a nickname in the middle of their names. Some, like Bartholomew the Portuguese, ignored their surnames and used their homelands or cities as nicknames. Sometimes pirates were given nicknames by their comrades. A prime example is the legendary Algerian pirate Deadhead, who earned his moniker due to his baldness. As for our guest Marcus, he was called Barbarossa by his friends because of his bright red beard. Nicknames were common among pirates, ranging from long, fat, sleeper to even strong-toothed. There was a nickname for every taste. However, some pirates simply used fake names. It is difficult to pinpoint a specific historical epoch of piracy, since pirates have existed from primitive raiders on rafts to modern Somalis with machine guns. Homer's famous poem, The Odyssey, even mentions pirates. 3,000 years ago, Phoenician pirates sailed the Mediterranean Sea, primarily targeting coastal villages to capture inhabitants and sell them into slavery. In later eras, there was no clear distinction between pirate and merchant. Every sea merchant had a team of warriors, and if they saw a profitable vessel nearby, they would seize it and resell the goods. Even the legendary Julius Caesar was once held for ransom by Cilician pirates. After paying the ransom, Caesar personally supervised the execution of his captors. It was around this time that piracy became recognized as one of the most serious crimes. However, states quickly realized that by employing pirates, they could carry out covert operations while officially maintaining clean hands. During times of war, pirates were invaluable for their expert knowledge of the sea. As a result, several terms were coined to describe legalized piracy, such as flybusters, corsairs, and privateers. Different countries issued certificates to pirates, outlining which ships could be attacked, and these papers protected the pirates on their own territories. With these certificates, pirates were able to enter state ports, stock up on provisions, and gain respect as highly skilled individuals. There are many documented cases of pirates who have held high positions in the Navy. One notable example is Sir Francis Drake, an English pirate who attacked Spanish ships and later sent Queen Elizabeth a gift of 2 annual revenues from a country. He was eventually made a lord and honorary citizen of England and received legal protection from Spain. Our Marcus Rashford, also known as Barbarossa, is another pirate of a lower rank. The year is 1718, which is often referred to as the Golden Age of Piracy, but also marked the year when most pirates were defeated. However, let's focus on Barbarossa and his surroundings for now. He and his ship are currently docked in Nassau, which is still considered the capital of the Bahamas. Marcus is a member of the coastal fraternity and stopped in Nassau for that reason. In 1706, the United Brotherhood of Pirates took control of the Bahamas, making Nassau the capital of the Pirate Republic, complete with its own flag. While the islands were technically under British control, the British administration had left, and the Spanish and French pirates were able to fend off attacks with the available ships and fortifications. The Pirate Republic of Nassau is the largest known entity that functioned as a mini-state. Marcus's ship is called the Happy Delivery, a name that is consistent with pirate tradition. According to explorer Marcus Rediker's analysis of pirate ship names in the 20th century, 18% of them included the word revenge, and another 10% made reference to royalty. The famous ship Queen Anne's Revenge, belonging to Blackbeard and featured in the Jack Sparrow movies, is a prime example of such a name. Marcus's Happy Delivery is much smaller than Queen Anne's Revenge, with only 36 crew members, but its size allows for quick boarding of other ships, instilling terror in their opponents. Barbarossa and his crew simply ram the target ship and board it through the holds, catching their opponents off guard. It's almost impossible to hit such a small ship with a cannon. Overall, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies do a good job of depicting the costumes and appearance of pirate crews. Many pirates had tattoos covering their bodies, not just for decoration, but also to conceal branding marks that criminals often received at that time. Spanish criminals were marked with a letter P and a crown, while the French were marked with the Bourbon lily and the English with anchors and frequently changing coats of arms. It is likely that Marcus's crew is comprised of 80% criminals, and their tattoos may have concealed their criminal backgrounds. Pirates were also very superstitious and carried amulets, talismans, and bandages for protection. They believed that lead bullets dipped in gold or silver protected against treacherous shots, bear teeth ensured a safe return home, and Neptune's anchor aided in navigation. Pirates also carried zodiac signs on their necklaces and kept a fragment of a weapon from a wound in a pocket near their belt for protection. In addition, Marcus has an exotic amulet against black magic that contains a small cactus vessel with a drop of blood from a person he considers a brother. If he ever receives an amulet from a comrade, he must immediately go to salvage. While Marcus's ship does not fly the Jolly Roger flag, it does carry the usual flag of England and other flags of importance in the hold, including a red flag with a skull and bones. The Jolly Roger flag was not registered in the Oxford Dictionary until 1724, and pirates often sailed under their state flags or privateers' licenses to avoid drawing attention and cannon fire. They would only raise their pirate flag after approaching and attacking a ship. Each had its own purpose. Captain Richard Hawkins recorded the meaning behind the different flags used by pirates in his ship's log. According to him, if a pirate ship approaches under a black flag resembling the Jolly Roger, it indicates that they may consider surrender. However, if they approach under a red flag, there is no chance of mercy, and you must prepare for battle. It's important to note that, despite the popular romanticization of pirates, they were cunning and often relied on surprise attacks to win. Marcus also uses this strategy by approaching Spanish ships under the Spanish flag to avoid suspicion. Additionally, there is a code book signed by all crew members, a practice introduced by the legendary pirate Henry Morgan. Morgan's code was so effective that he became lieutenant governor of Jamaica, but breaking the code could result in deadly consequences. It's worth noting that each captain could make their own code, and the portrayal in the Jack Sparrow movies may not be entirely accurate. There was no standard document for all pirates. The captain had the discretion to create one if desired, and crew members would sign it. For instance, Francis Drake had an unspoken personal code that ensured even the lowest-ranking cabin boy received a reward after a battle. However, Captain Drake often struggled to reward every hard-working crew member. Despite popular misconceptions about pirates, such as their reputation for drunkenness, the majority of ships at sea enforced prohibition to maintain focus and prevent disasters during storms. Similarly, while pirates enjoyed gambling, it was typically restricted to ports where they could enjoy some leisure time on land. On board, a successful crew functioned as a well-oiled machine with everyone knowing their place. Blindfolds were also used, but experts suggest that pirates used them to prepare their eyes for the darkness of the hold. By closing their eyes in darkness, they could adjust to the dim light more quickly. Finally, despite stories of pirate treasures, the reality was that few pirates lived to old age, and it was impractical to delay enjoyment of their rewards for the future. Let's delve into the pirate republic in the Bahamas, where Marcus is currently located. In 1706, following the end of major wars between states, they realized that it was more cost-effective to negotiate at a table than at sea. Consequently, the need for pirates in service to kings was no longer required, and they became hunted. A large group of pirates gathered in the Bahamas, forming a small state. The infamous Edward Teach, also known as Blackbeard, was its most well-known resident. A dozen other formidable corsairs resided in the Bahamas, all sharing one thing: freedom. Barbarossa raided ships knowing he could safely return home to rest and recharge. However, the absence of a ruler was also the pirates' downfall. Although Benjamin Hornigold was the official leader on paper, the position meant nothing. The Bahamas lacked ships, laws, and anything beyond pirate freedom. When England remembered in 1717 that they legally had jurisdiction over the island, there was no one to fight for independence. They took the unprecedented step of sending a former corsair, Woodes Rogers, who had become a British soldier, to the Pirate Republic. Rogers brought with him a real treasure, a document of amnesty. The pirates were given the opportunity to become subjects of the empire and were absolved of their sins, in exchange for living by its laws. However, many pirates, including Blackbeard, refused the amnesty. As a result, most of the rebellious pirates were killed, and the survivors either became British Empire subjects or went into hiding. As for Marcus, his choice remains a mystery. Despite the atrocities, the pirates were, at the very least, honest individuals. I'm not referring to the current predators preying on Somalia. Instead, I'm referring to the old-school, hardcore pirates who had more rationality than the states. For instance, a ship's crew could easily dismiss the captain and select a new one, which would be impossible on a warship. Regardless of how foolish the captain was, individuals were compelled to obey him on a warship. The pirates had more democracy than now, but it is not necessary to romanticize their image, because in fact, they are murderers and robbers, even if with their own code. Nonetheless, the era was not a joyous one. Life was expendable, so in the context of the Middle Ages, pirates were perhaps the most democratic society on the planet. See you again, folks!